status. We've done this differently before, but that's okay. But we can just go straight here, status. If it's not completed, then we're gonna sleep for 1 second and then run. Okay, so we can say run client beta threads runs and retrieve. So we're going to retrieve, in this case, our run. So I'm going to pass the thread ID, which we know we need to get from the session state, and get the thread ID, and then pass the run ID, which we can get that from just run.id. Okay, and outside the while, we are going to then retrieve messages added by the assistant. Okay, I'm going to say message, or messages in this case. I'm going to say client, go to threads, because that's where all messages are, and messages, and go to list. And of course, we need to pass the thread ID, go again to session, as such. So now we have all the messages, and we can process all of that. I'm going to process and display assist messages. Okay, so I'm going to put everything inside of a list to make things a little bit easier. So I'm going to say assistant messages for run. Okay, and I'm going to pass the message. Okay, that's very important. And I'm going to pass a for, and then we're going to actually pass a for loop inside here, which is pretty cool, for messages, or actually for, say, message in. Okay, say message. So we pass a message first, and then on another index here, we're going to go do a for loop. So it's for message. So what we do here, we have a message, and then for message in messages. So we're gonna make sure that if message that run ID is equal to run that ID, and the message that role is also equal to assistant. So essentially, we're just making sure to put all of the messages from our assistant into this array, so that way we can then loop through them. So in this case here, I can say, and once we have this array list, I can say for message, I know a lot of message here, and then go to our assistant messages for run, because it is indeed a list, so we can loop through it. In this case here, I'm going to just say full response, and I'm going to say process message with citation. This is where we're using that function, that helper function we created earlier, or just added there. And I'm going to pass message is going to be equal to messages. Actually, it's going to be equal to message, because we're inside of a loop, so whatever we're getting there. And when that happens, we are going to also set the session state messages and append all those messages in. So in this case, I'm going to create a dictionary here. So for the role, it's going to be assistant. And again, for content, we're going to pass the full response. Create a dictionary to add into our messages state. Okay, and then here I'm going to go ahead and get the chat message, because we need now to use that, which is going to be the assistant. And then we're going to add all of those responses onto the screen. So I'm going to use markdown again and pass the full response and I'm going to also pass the unsafe allow to true. Okay, unsafe allow to true for HTML. So if you hover over, let's go mark down here, this will, you can scroll down and see that the unsafe allow boolean by default, any HTML tags found in the body will be escaped and therefore treated as pure text. This behavior may be turned off by setting this argument to true. All right. Okay, so it's hard to show you everything, but we are inside of if in this case to make sure that we chat input for the user. So I'm going to come down here, go to that level. I'm going to say else. If none of this is actually happening, that means we can prompt users to start chat. So we just say st and say write. You can just write something and say, please upload at least a file to get started by clicking on the button. Say on the start chat button as such. All right, there's a lot of things here, but that's okay. It should be all good. Okay, again, remember you will have access to this code, so it's not a big deal. So essentially we are creating this chat, and there's a lot of sessions going on here, but that's important, like I said, because with Streamlit, you have to make sure that these sessions are all set up, because Streamlit, whenever you click a button, it refreshes the entire page, and that means you start from scratch, so you lose all the state. So we want to make sure that we have the state. That's why we have all this state thing going on here. If you want to learn more about that, you can check out their documentations. Okay, so we should have everything set up for us. Let's see if this works. Let me go ahead and make sure that we can say streamlit run, and make sure we're running the main, not the app.py or py. Hit enter, and you can see we have this very nice user interface that was created, which we can go ahead and use. So for now, let's see if this works. I'm going to go to browse, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the cryptocurrency again. And there we go. We have this cryptocurrency. It's there. Now we're going to go ahead and say upload. It's uploading, and voila. So that file was indeed uploaded. File ID, uploaded file ID is there. Very good. So is it true? If we go to OpenAI and let's go refresh, and we can actually look at the files, we should hopefully see cryptocurrency. One of these files I added a little bit ago is going to show us exactly the purpose, status is ready, and how the size of it, and of course also the file ID. Okay, we have two there, but that's okay. Now let's go back to the application and let's start chatting. So click start chat, and what's up? I'm going to say, tell me about data mining. Let's go ahead and see what's going to happen. So voila, you can see the weight generating response is working. And then we have this, all this was given to us by Streamlit. That's really cool. If we had to build all of that ourselves, that would be pretty, would take us a long time. Okay, so now it's going to look at the cryptocurrency and look at it and make sure that it gets the information that it needs. It appears that there may be some confusion around the term data mining. It pertains to cryptocurrency, which the uploaded files seem to discuss. Aha, this is good because it's saying the uploaded files seems to discuss. So it's looking at those two files, that one I uploaded before, and that's okay. Usually you should probably just get one there. But also it's probably from the previous upload that we did when we first ran this. It's okay. So in this case, data mining in the context of cryptocurrencies usually refers to the process of mining cryptocurrencies themselves, and blah, blah, blah. And there we go. So we can say, can you tell me how many cryptocurrencies are being discussed in the document? Hit enter, and voila, there we go. Okay, there we go. I apologize the inconvenience, but it seems there is an issue accepting the content document title Crypto PDF. The page has had no contents when I tried to open it, which means I cannot determine how many crypto. Okay, all right, that's okay. What I can do, again, remember this is still in beta, sometimes happens. So what I can do, let me see if I can delete one of these. Perhaps maybe that's gonna, that shouldn't be a thing anyway, but sometimes this happens and sometimes it does weird stuff. So it's okay. We're just gonna try again. Maybe this time it will work. Okay, so now it worked. Say based on the search results, document mentions several cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Litecoin, I think that's what it's called, Ether, and potential others are not named explicitly, and blah, blah, blah. That's really good. I can also ask. Now, the other thing also, I can go ahead and upload a different file or another file. Okay, so I'm going to say upload. Oh, shoot. So this is a problem. Now that I uploaded two files. So if I refresh this is exactly what I didn't want to do. I should have this file. Just delete a few here. And it's very strange because it shows all of these different files that have been uploaded. Let me just delete some of them. Some of them says upload, others says uploaded. I'm not sure why, but okay. Let's go ahead and delete some of them and go back here, and I'm going to browse to go get yet another one. So I have another one called lipids. This is a biology file, and that's the one I'm going to go ahead and upload. Try again. This sometimes doesn't work. Let me upload that one. Okay, that file was uploaded, and let's see if I can upload another one. It's an issue because we have that. Let's upload this one. Okay, so now we have two files that were uploaded. Let's go back to OpenAI, and I'm going to refresh here. Okay, so we have a few files that were uploaded, but one thing I can do, I can go to Assistant. So I think this will be better, and go here, and I can see the files that were uploaded. Wow, there's a lot of files that were uploaded. So it looks like when you first upload something, they change their names from upload first, and then the IDs are created. I think that's what's happening. I'm not sure. It's very strange. So it's a little bit buggy, but it's okay. So let's see if this works. So now we're going to go ahead and start chatting. Okay, let's talk about, because we have two files, let me go ahead and talk about biology. I'm going to say, what is a lipid? Okay, so now it should be able to go and fetch the file, in this case, the lipid, the biology file that has information about lipids and so forth, hopefully. All right, this worked. So lipids are biological molecules that have limited solubility in water and are soluble in non-polar organic solvents. Okay, so this is really good because it went and got the information from the document, because we have even the source and everything here that is showing. Very good. So I can also go back and ask about, in this case, cryptocurrency. What is crypto? Okay, so it comes here with 4 resources, crypto such as Bitcoin, Litecoin, and all that stuff, and explains everything. And very awesome. Okay, so this is actually working, which is very exciting. Now remember, these are just examples that I assembled really to showcase how to use Assistente API, and so that you can take this to the next level. Okay, so this is no production code, obviously, for many reasons, but at least it gives you some ideas. The other thing also to remember is that the Assistente API is still in beta, which means they're still working on it, and maybe some APIs will change by the time you're watching this, but I hope you understand at least what's happening, the basics of how Assistente API work. I give you a little bit the rundown of the vector store embeddings, so how things work in the background, and how Assistance API in so many ways allow us developers to really not think too much about what's in the background, which is really exciting. But also I need to let you know that with that we get a lot of some disadvantages, meaning that we don't have a lot of control. But with all of that flexibility, all of that abstraction, we also lose a few things. One of the things you will notice, even though Assistance API it's most likely going to keep getting better, it's important to also know that there are other tools that you can use that perhaps give you a little bit more flexibility, but also that means that you have to do a little bit more work per se, not too much. There's this tool called LangChain, which I'm just going to let you know about. It's a wonderful framework that allows you to really assemble many other models, in this case many other large language models, because there's not just OpenAI, ChatGPTs and GPTs, there are many others as well. For this framework, you are able to actually see most of the things we talked about, most of the things that OpenAI have abstracted things out for us, which is a good thing. But you're able to see or be able to do more in the backend in terms of choosing your own vector stores, indexing all your documents. So the process that I showed you in the backend that's happening, you will actually be able to see more. It becomes more apparent, if I may say that. All right, so that is a different topic, but just something to keep in mind. And I hope this course has given you something at least to think about, some good starting points when it comes to the Assistant API. And you can keep learning, of course, watching for the documentation, because things will change. That's just a known fact. And so, but I hope this course was able to give you the tools that you need to at least start thinking about how to use the Assistance API to build all sort of things. And now we didn't touch on using the code interpreter as a tool directly, really, but that's something you can do as an exercise. So you can create a bot, or you can create a tool that will analyze code. In fact, I think we talked a little bit as an exercise earlier, but now you have the tools. You know Streamlit, or at least you have some ideas. You can use that to create a code buddy, something like this, right? Or a pair programming buddy or something like that, that will help you debug things and go from there, right? So a lot of things that you can do here, a lot of things, but I've just scratched the surface, and I hope you enjoy this course. I hope you like this style that I use to teach this course, and I hope this was useful. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you next.